What's up, Gator fans? Obviously, the 2025 schedule dropped yesterday, so kind of want to run down where we fall in that for you guys. Okay, so we open August 30th, Long Island University. Remember, this is a game that's a fill-in game. We were supposed to play FAMU this week. They canceled, so Long Island University is who the athletic department found to fill that in. September 6th, we play USF, also in Gainesville. This is where the schedule gets kind of interesting, though. So September 13th, we're opening the SEC schedule, which that's not that uncommon, right? That the third week of the season we open SEC play. What is uncommon for Florida is that we open in Baton Rouge against LSU. I was looking at stats yesterday, and Florida has only played LSU in September just a couple of times in the entire history of this matchup. So I think that's kind of interesting. We play them very early. Then we come back to the state of Florida, but not to Gainesville. We head to Coral Gables to take on Miami on September 20th. After that, we have a bye. They will have had 3 games to kind of cut their teeth before they play Miami. I do think this is a game that's really important for Coach Napier to win, given what happened last year. I do like that they get, a couple of tune-ups before that happens. Miami obviously will be replacing a lot. And so, not necessarily the same team we saw this year, but I still don't love opening the season with a really tough game. So I think it's nice that Miami's 4 games in. We have that bye September 27th. Then we come back to Gainesville October 4th, and we start a pretty intense stretch right here. We take on Texas October 4th, so obviously playing them earlier in the season than we played them last year. That will be an interesting game. Arch Manning, assumingly, is the quarterback at that point. They have not traveled to Gainesville. This will be a nice, kind of welcome to the SEC. This is what the swamp is game. Hopefully that's at night. Then the very next week, we travel to Texas A&M. I saw a stat the other day that once the conference expanded, adding A&M and Missouri, Florida has only played Auburn once since that happened, since the expansion. They have played Texas A&M what will be 6 times, and this will be Florida's 4th visit to College Station. So, how we let that happen as SEC schedulers, I will never know. It makes no sense to me. But everybody we're playing this year is everybody we played this year, like next year and this year. It's just at the reverse location. So if we're going to get Auburn on that schedule, that's going to happen in 2026, potentially. It wouldn't have happened this year no matter what. But I just think it's so crazy that we will have visited Texas A&M 6 times since the last time we played Auburn. It's crazy. Anyway, after that, October 18th, we get Mississippi State at home. That one should be an easy one. October 25th, we have our traditional bye week going into Florida, Georgia in Jacksonville. I do love that they preserve that bye. I think it's important. I think it's a fun part of the rivalry. We both have off leading into that game. Then November 8th, we travel to Kentucky. Lexington in November will definitely be chilly. Then we travel to the Grove November 15th. Another cold game. This is the thing that I don't love. If I'm looking at this schedule, the game that bothers me the very most is November 22nd, Tennessee. That game is in Gainesville. And I just, I'm a college football purist. I love tradition. And 2nd to 3rd week of September is the Florida-Tennessee game for me. Obviously, they play 3rd week of October against Alabama. That was preserved. Just doesn't feel right to play Tennessee that late in the season. I also think I'm a little bit scarred. I have some PTSD left over from the 2001 season where the Tennessee game that was supposed to happen, I'll get right back to the video, but first, I appreciate BetUS for all their support. Just quickly, make sure that you're betting with them and using their code. It's YouTube150. That'll get you a 150% sign-up deposit on your first deposit. You'll also get a 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits, all up to $2,000. It's nearly bowl season and it's almost playoff time, so make sure that you are betting with BetUS this postseason. That 3rd weekend in September got moved to the 1st weekend of December because of 9/11. And Tennessee won. That's what kept Florida out of the national championship game in 01. That's what cost Rex Grossman the Heisman. I don't love playing Tennessee this late in the season. And, more recently than 2001, I think when you look at Tennessee, they usually start slow each season, but then they're clicking on all cylinders by the end of the schedule. And, we say all the time, we're glad we got Tennessee when we did, right? Because more often than not, Florida's going to beat them at the beginning of the season. I just think they look like a different team towards the end, pretty much year in and year out, this year being no exception. And then after that, we've got the traditional Thanksgiving weekend game against Florida State. It's November 29th. That'll be in Gainesville. Love it when we get to have senior night be the Florida State game. I think it's that much more meaningful for all of these players. That's when it will fall. And obviously not messing with that, which I appreciate those schedulers for leaving that where it is. All in all, I don't think that this is maybe quite as intimidating a schedule this year as it was last year. I think there's a lot of teams in transition on this schedule, and I think that could play in Florida's favor. I did look up and who each of these teams were playing the week before they play us, and teams either have a bye or they play a patsy pretty much straight down the schedule. Whereas, we've got some back-to-back bangers going on. And so, that'll be interesting to watch as well. But schedule is out. You guys can go ahead, book your tickets to Gainesville, book your hotel rooms. There is going to be some really cool matchups that happen. I don't know about you. I'm going to be in the Grove on November 15th, and I'm sure I will be in Baton Rouge on September 13th as well. Those are two just can't miss venues for me, and I'm very excited to see it. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope you are excited about this schedule. Let me hear down in the comments, what game are you planning on going to? If it's not in Gainesville, where are you traveling to? If you're traveling to Baton Rouge or the Grove, do you have any tips for me of where I should be visiting, where I should be staying, anything like that? Let's talk about it down in the comments. As always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and go Gators.